rushed it, pushed it, smushed it, nailed it, bailed it, snailed it, spaled it, killed it, swilled it, filled it, gilled it, tied it, flied it, tried it, bite it, needled it, did it, tweedled it, teed it, spooned it, cropped it, queened it, spotted it, trusted it, rusted, sussed it, bored it, gored it, cooled it, fooled it, boiled it, broiled it, baked it, flaked it, tricked it, flicked it, bricked it, kicked it, eyed it, spied it, mucked it, hucked it, stuck it, plucked it, no fire trucked it, lose it, snooze it, sometimes booze it, played it, flayed it, Thanksgiving date it, toyed it, boyed it, coyed it, destroyed it, kept it, slept it, adept at it, wept it, prepped it, inept at it, crept it, skipped it, whipped it, slipped it, tripped it, nipped it, dipped it, tipped it, snipped it, stripped it, flipped it, chipped it, sipped it, spilled it, thrilling, chilly, willy-nilly, poked it, choked it, yoked it, whacked it, stacked it, packed it, tracked it, smacked it, mangled it, yangled it, twangled it, kangled it, wasted, pasted, spaced it, tasted, wriggled it, tickled it, nickled it, spickled it, trickled it, frickled it, kickled it, spickled it, finders, keepers, losers, weepers, cheapers, creepers, teepers, peepers, snappers, yappers, clappers, nappers, pappers, flappers, mappers, cappers, wailing, failing, tailing, bailing, tag it, bag it, flag it, tag it, snag it, rag it, frag it, rag it, lag it, bend it, send it, trend it, princess it, best it, yes it, mess it, clasp it, frog it, bog it, dog it, dig it, ghost it, expel it, douche it, frame it, tame it, game it, name it, blame it, aim it, trim it, and maim it, push it, cushion, snacks and carrot corn, movies, groovy, Bill sings, use me, snaked it, whacked it, mugged it, flashed it, duped it, fluked it, splashed it, need it, cashed it, wrote it, spent it, checked it, turned it, started it, dead, better read it, conquered it, plunkered it, bonkered it, knockered it, needy, weedy, greedy, speedy, above it, drive it, government, love it, Christmas wishes, wish list, wish it, these are some of the things we can do to it, bird it, word it, curled it, infinite!
right, here we go.
3 more than 0. There we go. 6 years.
If you were falling, then I would catch you. You need a light.
Ain't a bad place to be.
I'd find a match, 'cause I love the way you say good morning.
Really?
And you take me the way I am. If you were chilly, here, take my sweater. Your head is aching. I'll make it better, 'cause I love the way you call me baby. And you take me the way I am. I'd buy you Rogaine when you start losing all your hair. So on patches to all you tear, 'cause I love the way you call me baby. And you take me the way I am. You take me the way I am. You take me the way I am.
You can just zone out and nobody's gonna care. Thanks for doing that.
Thanks,
You
guys.
can. And many times people just don't. They watch the sports game or whatever. So you stop getting nervous, or if you just get to the point you stop caring about people's reactions. I think as long as you're nervous, it means you care about what you're doing. And you, yeah.
Never want to be to the point that I don't care about what other people think.
Yeah, I got there a little bit. I'm not fully there. Sometimes it's 30 seconds. It doesn't show up on the screen. All right. What is up, everybody? Welcome to eOpenMic version 5.02. The reason why we call it like version 5.0 whatever is because it's like, digital, and that's kind of like programming terms. Rob is kind of translucent over there, so I'm going to try to fix that. And let's go ahead and get this eOpenMic logo out of his face. Yeah, there we go. That's better. You're not too translucent anymore. There we go. Okay. So we got we've got Rob, and I think I'm pretty good at pronouncing your last name, but it's Yuhanick. Wow, I never pronounced it that way. Actually, I thought I had that. Rob Yuhanick. I thought it was gonna be one of those where you just kind of like breeze through the H, like Yuhanick, but Yuhanick. Okay. And we've got Pernell McDaniel here with us in the studio today. Thank you guys for coming out. I've been really excited to have this conversation with you guys and share some music. And so also we had Corey Shelton that was going to be with us. He had some health issues earlier today. He's feeling a lot better, but just exhausted, so he couldn't make it tonight. Just keep him in your thoughts and prayers. And Corey, we'll look forward to another time. We've got Nathan Douglas as well as Brandon Thompson that are going to be joining us digitally through Skype. And today's been an interesting day, but let's just jump into it. So Let's well, I think I usually have like a lot longer of a monologue actually, but um why don't we just typically what we do is just go into a song. And so but I feel like it's just a little bit too early. I don't know, that's just the way I feel. I feel like we should talk about something. We're just talking about Chico Feo. So why don't we talk about Chico Feo? I don't know. That's where Pernell would be if he wasn't here right now. Yeah. So we were also talking about how when you're broadcasting to the internet, or even if you're live at an event like Chico Feo, and anybody has a cell phone that broadcasts to the internet, now everything you say gets put out into the internet forever, and anybody can watch it and use it however they want. And so that makes it hard to it makes it trickier to say what you have to say. I actually was talking about that literally earlier today. I did a broadcast today, and I was talking about the exact thing, that I've recently made an exodus on my social media, where I just got rid of anyone that I didn't really know who they were, even if I've not met them. As long as I have a good concept of who they are, anybody else, I just got rid of it, because you get all these requests and stuff that come in, and I did that for the sole purpose of wanting to have more control over exactly who I'm speaking, not wondering that the message is going to go, to all these people that might hate me and try to, use what I say against me, or. Okay. True. Yeah, you only get 5,000 friends. That's the friend limit. It'd be funny if that was the limit on friends in real life too. Like once you hit 5,000, you just couldn't make a friend. All right. Okay. With that, I'm gonna throw it over to Rob, and let's start off with a song here. And so what we're gonna do for those of you, by the way, like, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. It's so easy to go on and just hit share and then share to a group. It actually shares like really fast. So the more you share it, the more people will be here. We can see your comments. We got Brandon Thompson here saying, "Let's go." So we got, yeah, shout out. What's up, Brandon? And so you can like, share, and subscribe. Liking and sharing. Liking helps the posts get seen by more people. That's how it gets promoted. Sharing obviously does the same thing. Subscribing means when I do future events like this, you'll see it. But yeah, let's throw it over to Rob. And the way we're going to do this is each person will play a song. Rob will play a song, Pernell will play a song, and then we're going to have Nathan Douglas pop on through Skype and Brandon Thompson through Skype. Everyone will take turns playing a song, and then the guys here in the studio will play one more to close us out, one more each. And we'll just talk about each other's songs and whatever we want to talk about. What I was telling these guys when they're here, before we started broadcasting, that what I want this to be is a chance to just share some music in a different setting and really get to talk about it, or just talk about what music means to us, or how we see the music scene in Charleston or wherever we are. Just music-related conversation, or really wherever the conversation wants to go is fine. But just a chance to dig a little deeper into who we are and what and understanding music and communication and that kind of stuff. So, with that said, Rob, what you got for us? All right. Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Hey, awesome. Great song. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah.
I almost feel like you just jumped out of my head. I was thinking something along those lines few weeks ago about, and I jotted down a song idea and it was starting out to be "The Way Back Home," and yours is a little bit more optimistic than mine was. Mine was like things just ain't the same around here anymore, and you know, and and I kind of started writing, and I meant, wow, this is really bleak and pessimistic, and sounds like I'm down on the area stuff. But yours, puts a positive twist on it, and that I didn't see.
Yeah, I wrote that when well, actually just recently wrote it, but I was thinking about a friend I reconnected with that a long, long time ago, her and I dated, and she had this theory where I was here, she was here, some crazy crap like that, and I didn't want it to end, but she did because she felt she was out of place, something like that, and it was kind of that first major breakup outside of high school type of deal. So you're like really learning the ropes of who you are and stuff like that. And yeah, so kind of wrote about that and coming back around and figuring it out and letting it go.
Great song. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
I was thinking about what to play, and I don't know. I don't know. This song I'm gonna play is kind of dumb. Well, my songs don't impress me.
Pernell's got some great songs, so yeah.
That's what they tell me, but
No, you do.
I think I'm a jingle writer at best.
Well, it's funny because I was sitting at my house and I was going through my songs and I'm playing them. I'm like, these things are effing boring. What the hell am I doing? I need to figure something else out because I'm like, they're the same chords. Oh, it's just same lyrics. Yeah, so I mean, I feel the same way about my stuff.
Well, we were talking about the song you were talking about a little while ago about you spent 5 years on it.
Yeah,
The best songs I've ever written, I wrote in about 30 minutes.
that was the song.
Yeah,
it was
there's
about
one
a 30
came
minute
out
song.
like that.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, the one I'm gonna play is one of those 30-minute songs. I find that the longer I spend on them, the less impressive they are.
Yep.
When they come out, I don't know. It's like the song that I just finished. I spent 5 years working on. I didn't have anything to say.
Yeah.
Didn't have anything to say. I didn't know when I started the song. I didn't know what I was trying to say. Sounds like when you wrote that song, you had a pretty clear idea where it was going, and
Yeah.
I think you said it beautifully.
No, thank you.
I think the lyrics and it all seems to work.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it was. Yeah, if I sit down in front of the song for more than an hour, I might as well just throw it away because it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it'll end up frustrating me. And yeah.
Yeah, I think I tend to agree with that. I think the best songs I've ever written just came out really quickly, and I knew what I was going to say when I sat down and put pen to paper. I knew what it was going to be about. I knew I didn't try to get carried away with a whole lot of smoke and mirrors and multifaceted, deep, layered meanings, and I didn't make them overcomplicated. And I think those tend to come out the best.
One of my favorite methods when I do write, and I don't write often anymore. I used to like put out a song a week or something like that years and years and years ago. I just start strumming chords, and I'm trying to stay away from generic chords. Like this one was just the generic GDC, and but sometimes the lyrics just start coming. Sometimes they don't rhyme, sometimes they do, and then I've got to hit that record button, or I got to have a piece of paper and pen in front of me, because I've lost so many songs over the last couple of months because I haven't had anything to record with or write down or whatever. But those are the most fun to write. It just bam, it's there, and God only knows where the hell it came from. So yeah, Noah.
Yeah. No, I agree with what you guys are saying. I think I have a similar perspective. I think a lot of the best stuff I've written came out real quick, just the same kind of thing. And most of the time I don't even really want to write if it's not going to come out quick. I don't know. If there's not something like really compels me to want to write and I'm really excited about it, then I don't even want to do it. I've tried to teach myself or train myself to just sit down and, just say, because that's what the songwriters in Nashville do or whatever, right? They write like a 9 to 5, They get up, they go, they write, and then they take a lunch break, and then they write. And there's something to be said for that, for sure. And I think if you make the effort to sit down, more times, then eventually you're going to run into inspiration, or you're gonna stumble into something. So you give yourself more opportunities, you'll find something good. But for me, I like to save it for the most part, unless for a time when I just have something that I'm really compelled to write. But I don't know. There's both sides. Good music has been written the other way. But I would tend to think if you could if you could get the statistic from God about how many good songs were written from like immediate inspiration, then I think it's heavily on that side. That's just what I think. Yeah.
I would tend to agree.
It'd be nice if we could get statistics from God. I wish we could get that.
Well, and it's also fun when you get a group together and you just pick out a chord progression or something like that. I was with a group once. We wrote a song in about 45 minutes, and all I was doing, I was on my electric, and I was just pounding out power chords, and then Mikey started copying the power chords. Then all of a sudden I started soloing, and then we started coming up with words, and then it was a lot of fun. I don't know whatever happened to that song. I don't remember it either. But sometimes when you get groups of people together, like-minded people.
You guys write with other people?
Sometimes.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never did much. I didn't do that very often, write with other people, because I was really particular. I'd have a message, I'd be really strong-minded about the message that I want. I don't know, I just didn't feel comfortable with it, because I think I didn't understand enough about my own self or what I wanted to express. It felt really risky, because I'd get sucked into maybe expressing something that didn't align with me, or whatever. I don't know if that's exactly how to say it, but I always felt like it was a really risky thing for me. I don't know, maybe you can relate to this too, or I used to feel like music was really dangerous when I was younger. I'd be really careful about what music I listened to. But writing with other people, to me, it felt really vulnerable and risky. Like I could do something it could do something that would hurt me. Yeah, like a loss of control or a loss of direction. Huh? Probably. Yeah. But I'm learning to not be, because I've got a band now called Noah and the Space Ark. But Brett Weller is a great songwriter. He took up playing lead guitar and making insane sounds with the guitar. He's a great songwriter, and so he's done a lot to tweak songs. And I've also just learned to let go. There's a lot of artists that talk about how you can't really worry about controlling the message, because the message is going to mean whatever it means to whoever's listening. And you want a lot of songwriters, they want to leave. They want to leave things at least a little bit ambiguous, so that everyone can have their own interpretation, and that's really what's more important. The art shouldn't be so controlled. What's more important is that everyone has the chance to have their own experience and own interpretation, and that's far more important than what one person wants to express. So I've backed way off on terms of controlling things, and a lot of songs that I've written have taken on way new forms, and I don't worry about it as much. Yeah.
I've had that problem with Memory of Me.
Okay.
So that song's very, very particular, obviously. I wrote the song to the backstory of it is I went through this really, really, really dark time, and my son, he was only like 2 or something like that, and he was acting like an ass, and I tried to step in and correct him, but I was drunk. I mean, I was plastered. I went through a phase where I was drinking and drunk by 9 o'clock in the morning every day, and yeah, well, had a lot going on too. But something clicked in my head. I thought he was looking at me like, who the hell are you to be saying anything to me? And went through a really, like, my brain went south really fast. And I lived up north at the time. I'd just gotten out of the Coast Guard. I'd been stationed in West Michigan. And I went down into the basement with the single thought of hanging myself. And I couldn't find a rope. I found a piece of paper, a pen, so I went to write him a letter. It turned into a song. But that song is very, very laser-pointed specific. And it was basically a letter begging him not to be the person I was. And I played it with somebody, and one person did great. I mean, he soloed, and it came up sounding almost like like you wanted to cry. Like that first blues note he hit, like ripped your heart out. Another guy tried to put distortion where distortion shouldn't be, and I like almost flipped out and lost it.
Songs are like babies.
Yeah, and then we got that song, that one I played with Eugene, that he'd be on the piano, and when I stopped, he slowed it way down, and then it turned into a blues song from there. If it wasn't for him coming up with slowing it down, and just really bringing on those minor chords, I mean, it made a whole new song out of it, and it was so cool. So you get the best. If you can balance both, I mean, because you will have those ones that are just you cannot alter it because there's a specific message you need to get out.
So I've got a song, and we got to
Oh yeah.
Pernell's got to play a song, but I've got a song called "Beautiful Frankenstein," which is a waltz, and the way I originally wrote it, it's just acoustic. It's just acoustic, like an acoustic waltz, like a slow, and it's spooky. You know, it could be a Halloween song or something. It's
Was that an intended oxymoron or just a
yeah,
haphazard coincidence? Just
no,
intended oxymoron.
Yeah, Beautiful Frankenstein. Yeah,
Okay.
but it's meant to be that in spite of being Frankenstein, you can still be beautiful. Maybe I'll play that. Maybe I'll play that song because I think the lyrics are really, really cool. The concept basically is, Frankenstein is made up of lots of different deceased body parts, right? And then they're put all together, and then he's alive. And but the way that I conceptualized Frankenstein with this was more of a spiritual perspective on him. If you take aspects of different people's personalities and you say, oh, I like that, I want to be like that, but you don't really know where that personality came from. You don't really know where the genesis of that way of being is. And so you're just taking this aspect of a personality that doesn't belong to you and you don't understand. You say, oh, I like how that person talks or laughs or says this word. You take that and you just take different pieces of different people and you put it all together. But those pieces, those things live in other people because they organically grew there. And when you just take them and then implant them into yourself, they decay and they die. And that's what I'm thinking about with Beautiful Frankenstein. It's taking all these different personality traits, trying to be this thing that you think is going to be the beautiful thing, but it ends up being, it doesn't work out. And then it also just goes to the idea of just life in general being a complete mess, and that in spite of the chaos that we live in, there's still, I think we all find it beautiful. You know, it's like, I don't know, I can't help but think it's beautiful. So, yeah. So anyway, with that segue, you were saying you were going to play something dumb, and then we got.
I don't know what to play now. I'm totally confused. I've been. I think I changed gears again. The song I was going to play, I wrote in about 30 minutes, and the song actually wrote itself. And It's a dumb song, but it was a dumb thing. It's a dumb song about a dumb thing. But I think I'm going to play this song that I just finished a couple of weeks ago. And the original idea for it came out on the beach at Folly. I walked out there with some moldy bread in the middle of the wintertime. The seagulls they have a hard time in the winter. And so I went out there, and there's nothing but seagulls and doves. And of course, we all know what seagulls are. They're obnoxious. They're just, there's no other way to put it. They're loud. They're nasty. They're inconsiderate. And the doves are, pretty much exactly the opposite. They're meek, mild-mannered. You throw the bread out there, the seagulls just scarf it all up. They're self-centered. They're not they're not generous. And so I was just sitting there looking, just thinking, some people are like seagulls, some people are like doves. And that was the kind of the original idea for the song. And I was going to write a song about this one seagull that all of a sudden started acting out of character, being benevolent, showing some love, and not being so loud and boisterous and aggravating. And so that was the original idea for the song 5 years ago. And over the past 5 years, it's kind of evolved. And I said, well, let's take it another step further. The seagull is not just benevolent and courteous and giving. He's actually falls in love with the dove. Let's make a little story out of this. Okay. Let's see how far down this road we can go. And so I just finished it, and it's a simple little song, really. I try to keep things simple. So it goes like this. The wayward seagull with white wings unfurled, soaring on currents high above, swept down and picked a flower that bloomed anew every hour, and the fragrance induced love. And everywhere she went and everywhere she stayed, the love didn't fade away. It had a glow that lit the way, and never turned cold or turned to gray. The gentle breeze shared the sweet perfume, intoxicating like a drug, and melted hearts with its mystical bloom, and then revealed its purest love. All desired, but only one would receive, only one fit like a glove. So the seagull took a petal and tucked it under her wing, and gave the rest to the dove. And everywhere they went and everywhere they stayed, the love didn't fade away. Its embers glowed and lit their way. They never turned old or turned to gray. The journey ended as it mirrored art, and 10,000 miles couldn't part their hearts. like wisping sand on the wind-torn beach. Their love renewed with boundless reach, and a million blessings filled their final list. And many more I must have missed, maybe lost somewhere between these lines, but countless in the starry skies. So whichever way you go, or even if you stay, the love doesn't fade away. It warms our souls in a bright bouquet. It never turns old or turns to gray. It never turns old or turns to gray. It never turns old or turns to gray. My headphones fell off through there, so I don't know what it sounded like.
Sounded good.
Yeah.
If
Can you hear me eating potato chips on?
yeah, that's fine.
That's a really
You can
good
hear- you can hear
It's
the
a
potato
really
chips.
good microphone.
But you can. I mean, that's a good sound too. You know,
I think
everyone
that's a-
can
I'm gonna
can enjoy.
Capitalize on that.
There's
yeah,
probably
I'm gonna check my microphones from now on.
Yeah.
I can hear.
actually
potato
I could
chips crack.
probably separate that sound and then use that as like I could sell that to the movies if they ever need to edit in some sound for potato chip munching, or I don't know, maybe people could really enjoy that as well.
Thank you for the potato chips too, by the way.
Sure, no worries.
Saved my life.
If I were to describe your song, I would not use the word dumb. I don't know. Was that no? that word does
No.
not come to mind.
Not at all.
It's romantic. It's romantic. Dumb.
Well, it's just simple.
The-
It's just a simple song.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not like I saw this guy on. I saw this guy on Wood Songs. One time, I tell this story all the time. Probably my bad. So this guy, this songwriter on Wood Songs. You've seen Wood Songs, the show. Guy was the interviewer. Asked him. This kid was like 23 years old, and I don't even remember his name, and I wouldn't call it even if I did know it because he embarrassed himself so badly. But they asked him what was the hardest thing about being a songwriter, and he, thought for about 5 seconds or so, gave it a lot of thought, and he said, "Well, I think the hardest thing for me is that people don't understand my music." And the interviewer, I can't remember that guy's name. What's his name? I can't remember the guy's name now. But he said, "Well, maybe you should write some simpler music. People don't understand your music."
Yeah, that's a good
He
point.
just shot right back.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the hardest thing about being a songwriter, why don't you just write some simpler music?
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but that just blazoned into my
Yeah.
mind as soon as he said it. I was like, that's really good advice. I think I'm
think
going
it
to
is.
take that. I'm going to take that myself. And so I think my songwriting took a turn there. It was like I was trying to make it too complicated.
Yep.
I'd been for years and years. I thought I've got to get the double entendres in there and all the poetic, techniques in there, and it's all got to rhyme, and it's got to be the meter's got to be this. That's.
I'm just happy for rhymes.
You know what? I take them. I used to be focused on them, and I was so focused on them for so long that now they just kind of come naturally. But I'm trying really. Now I'm like trying to put the rhymes down. Everything doesn't have to rhyme.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
doesn't.
it
Sometimes,
doesn't.
yeah. Sometimes, I think the most important thing is just if you get at your message, if you just do a really good job of conveying your message, whatever it is. Because a lot of times the words that don't rhyme just they're much more memorable. I don't sometimes
Exactly.
sometimes they're way more memorable. They just stick out.
If it's the
you pay
right
more
word, it
attention.
doesn't have to rhyme.
Yeah.
In fact, this can be better if it doesn't rhyme.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't rhyme, then it kind of sticks out. It's
Mhm.
like if it's really the
Yeah.
right word,
Right.
and it makes it stick out. It's
Yeah.
like putting it in bold-face print.
Right. Yeah, that's a really good. I like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to think of it. Yeah. Cool. Well, let's I told Nathan about 6:30, so we're at 7:30. We're at about 7:40, so I'm gonna shoot over to Nathan through Skype. So let's see if we can get him on here, and I'm gonna dial Nathan. You guys might want to I don't know how loud it's gonna come through just for a second here. So
I can't hear
wait.
anything anymore.
I don't know why I put get
Too
rid of
many
that.
years of playing rock and roll music.
Yeah, I'm losing my ears a little bit as well. All right, we're gonna give Nathan a call. Nathan, we'll see how this goes.
That's an interesting noise.
Ring in, Nathan. It says connecting. I'm gonna cancel the call and try one more time here. All right, cancel the call. Nathan's unavailable. Give me a call when you're back. No, I know he's there. I could see that he's online. So let's try this again. Well, here's the beauty of this. I can text him right now. So getting anything. Doesn't want to connect. All right, I'm going to close out his Skype real quick, and this might create a confounding variable here, but we're going to close out his Skype and restart it. Wait, I'm getting a call from... Oh,
Hello.
Nathan's calling me. He's just calling me. Okay. How did we hear that in our headphones? Oh, wait, that's because... Okay. What's up, Nathan? Hey.
Yeah, I lost you, man. Right as you were going to do all of that, Skype just disappeared on me, and
Okay.
oh, it's back now. Try calling me real
Okay.
quick.
You want to stay on the phone real quick? I got
Just
you.
stay together, and we'll make it work one way or the other.
All right, I got the phone held up to the microphone.
That's cool, man.
We're making it work.
Sounded better.
Yeah. It's high quality studio equipment. All right, I'm giving you a call.
All right. I see some action here.
All right. Let's try one more time.
All right.
Trying again.
All right.
If this doesn't work, Nathan and I already talked about, I'll just hold the phone to the microphone and he's going to do...
That's what we're going to have to do.
It's not connecting?
Skype is acting really weird here.
Okay.
All right, let's do that.
All right, well, you will be here. I can tell you what, I'm going to do it one more time, and then we're going to get, it doesn't work, and then we'll just have you're going to be a little smiley face. Or it could have you be this 405 California license plate.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right.
Yeah, Skype just reloaded itself for whatever reason. I'm doing nothing. I'm just watching this. So if you want to try one last time, then we'll go to the phone. How's that?
Okay, sounds good.
I'm impressed that y'all actually seem to know what Skype is.
All right. It seems like it's calling. It looks like it's working. You getting anything? I'm going to take it down. It was a little loud. All right, we got you.
Coming now. It's coming
Yeah.
now. Hey there.
All right, there we go.
All right. All right.
All right, we don't see you yet, but if you want to hit that video.
All
Video
right. I'm
icon.
going to do that now. And you got it. Really slow. It won't let me unlock the video. But we can use the 405. That's close enough. And I'll try to keep hitting this thing randomly. It just won't free up the video.
Okay.
You hear me?
Yeah, we can also hear ourselves. You might.
Oh, wait. Okay, it's going through an hour ago and asking me all these things. So asked me if I want to use my camera. Yeah, I said allow it. Yeah, you know. So,
Okay. Oh, no worries.
okay.
Let's just go with this. And by the way, we can hear ourselves coming back through your system.
Okay.
Although it seems it seems to have gone away now.
Headphone. Yeah.
Yeah. But if that's the case, we'll just have you. You can just do the song or the poetry that you were doing, and then we'll just talk about it after.
No. Just I forgot to do that part of it. I forgot.
Okay.
It's been a month too, and I forgot to plug in the headphones. I'm
Okay.
right
Gotcha.
now. Sorry about that. Yeah. All right. Now that should have eliminated that.
All right.
And I'll go ahead. All right. So here's what I'm gonna do, fellas. It's really going to fit in well with what you did a minute or two ago. Pernell, I heard your song. Rob, I didn't hear yours. So I'm not fully versed on what's going on, but I heard Rob talking about writing from chord progressions.
Yep.
And I heard that Pernell took 5 years to write that dumb song, he called it. So obviously processes differ. My process is to write lyrics primarily. So I'm focused on lyrics. So I wanted to talk about lyrics real quick today, and use as my hero is Hal David of the Hal David Burt Bacharach combination. You know, people talk about Burt Bacharach songs. I always say no, it's a Hal David song because the lyrics are what really made the song. So I'm gonna name some of them. There's 13 pages of Hal David songs if you go on the internet. Some of them that you would know would be Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, One Less Bell to Answer, Wishing and Hoping, Wives and Lovers, You Never Get to Heaven If You Break My Heart, There's Always Something Left to Remind Me, Message to Michael, I Say a Little Prayer, Alfie, Walk On By, What the World Needs Now Is Love, They Long to Be Close to You, the Carpenters song, which has been recorded by 406 artists. Can you imagine the royalties Hal David got off of that one song? The Look of Love. Those are just to name some of them. I had to sort through all of these songs to find 3 that I'm going to read as poetry, essentially, if you're still with me. Are you still with me?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Clear.
This first song is a Luther Vandross song, but it was written by Hal David and Burt Bacharach. It's called A House Is Not a Home. A chair is still a chair, even when there's no one sitting there. But a chair is not a house, and a house is not a home when there's no one there to hold you tight, and no one there you can kiss goodnight. A room is still a room, even when there's nothing there but gloom. But a room is not a house, and a house is not a home when the two of us are far apart and one of us has a broken heart. Now and then I call your name and suddenly your face appears, but it's just a crazy game. When it ends in tears. Pretend it's all, darling, have a heart. Don't let one mistake keep us apart. I'm not meant to live alone. Turn this house into a home. When I climb the stairs and turn the key, oh, please be there, saying that you're still in love with me. Yeah, I'm not meant to live alone. Turn this house into a home. So when I climb the stairs and turn the key, oh, please be there, still in love with me. All right, so that's House Is Not a Home. Yeah, and that particular song has been covered by 197 artists.
198 now.
And then this
that
is
one on my next.
The next one is kind of a silly song. I guess Pernell would call it a dumb song. but this dumb song is covered by 233 artists, and it's a lot of fun to listen to. Dionne Warwick, of course, sang it. It's called I'll Never Fall in Love Again, if you remember the song. What do you get when you fall in love? A guy with a pen to burst your bubble. That's what you get for all your trouble. I'll never fall in love again. What do you get when you kiss a guy? You get enough germs to catch pneumonia. And after you do, he'll never phone you. I'll never fall in love again. Don't you know that I'll never fall in love again? Don't tell me what it's all about, because I've been there and I'm glad I'm out of those chains that bind you. That's why I'm here to remind you, what do you get when you fall in love? You only get a life of pain and sorrow. So, for at least until tomorrow, I'll never fall in love again. No, I'll never fall in love again. I'm out of those chains that bind you. That's why I'm here to remind you. What do you get when you fall in love? You only get lies and pain and sorrow. So for at least until tomorrow, I'll never fall in love again. And then last but not least, because this is my favorite Hal David lyric, called, the song is called, Do You Know the Way to San Jose? And Noah, you can relate to this.
Okay.
Do you know the way to San Jose? I've been away so long, I might go wrong, lose my way. Do you know the way to San Jose? I'm going back to find some peace of mind in San Jose. LA is a great big freeway. Put 100 down, buy a car in a week, maybe 2, they'll make you a star. Weeks turn into years. How quick they pass. And all the stars that never were are parking cars and pumping gas. You can really breathe in San Jose. They've got a lot of space. There'll be a place where I can stay. I was born and raised in San Jose. I'm going back to find some peace of mind in San Jose. Fame and fortune is a magnet. It can pull you far away from home. With a dream in your heart, you're never alone. Dreams turn into dust and blow away. And there you are, without a friend. You pack your car and ride away. I've got lots of friends in San Jose. Do you know the way to San Jose? Yeah, LA is a great big freeway. Put 100 down, buy a car in a week, maybe 2, they'll make you a star. Weeks turn into years, how quick they pass. And all the stars that never were are parking cars and pumping gas. Boom!
San Jose was a great choice. 1,000 Things rhyme with San Jose. It's much better than Tucson.
What do you say?
It's much better than Tucson. 1,000 Things rhyme with San Jose.
It would have been infinitely more difficult with Tucson.
Nathan, you're the best poet in Long Beach.
Thank you. I wish I could write like that guy writes, or used to write. He's passed away now.
But I mean, your cadence and delivery of that, I thought was excellent.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
That was really awesome.
So just quickly to wrap it up. Again, I'm enamored with his skill at writing these songs with such a wide variety of songs. Of course, once you put the music with them, and they come to life. They're just amazing songs, and they're going to be around for a really long time. But it brings up the whole question of and Noah and I have had this discussion: what's more important, lyrics or melody or harmony or whatever? And Noah knows that I believe lyrics are 50% of a song, if not more. And so I'm heavily oriented toward lyrics. So and then the question that follows that is, where do you start? Do you start with a chord progression and find a melody, and then once you got the melody, you find the lyric, or do you? In my case, I often start with the lyric, find the melody, then put the chords to it. So it's kind of backwards to a lot of folks, but it serves me well. I have no idea how Burt Bacharach and Hal David did it. I don't have any idea how Bernie Taupin and Elton John do it. I guess it's just whatever works for you, that's good.
Amen.
Yeah, I don't think there's any magic recipe.
Right.
I've done it different ways, but I think I've kind of settled on writing lyrics first. I write a poem. Actually, I really kind of start with a story, like a short story. I mean, I kind of jot down, just do an outline of what it is that I'm trying to say. What's the message? what's the reason for writing the song, and what message, and then I kind of start with the hook. Usually the hook comes first, and it's usually just something that
Does your
up in
hook
conversation at the
tend to
bottom.
be in the chorus? So you're saying you start by writing a chorus and then end up writing verses?
Not always. Not always.
Okay.
Sometimes that can go either way. I often write verses and then the chorus, and sometimes the chorus comes first. But the lyrics always come first for me. And I don't think I'm a very good melody writer. I've been working a little bit with Sam Ray, and she's just a fabulous musician, a world-class cellist, and played in the Brandy Carlisle band, and was, just inspires me. And I've been collaborating with her some, and trying to become a better musician, trying to glean some inspiration from her and become a better musician. I really just still consider myself to be a jingle writer. First thing I ever wrote was a jingle. And
Ain't nothing. That's where Barry Manilow started.
yeah. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me of that.
Have it your way.
I wish I had his
your
money.
way.
I wish I had his money.
You know, there's another songwriter that sort of started like that. He lives out here near where Noah was and where I am. His name's Paul Williams. And he wrote one of those Carpenters songs, We've Only Just Begun.
Oh, yeah.
And that song started out as a bank commercial. I forgot the name of the bank out here, but it was a bank commercial. You know, they had a nice little glitzy film that went along with it, you know. But that was basically talking about, I guess, you know, get a loan from the bank. I don't know, but it started out as a jingle.
I'm a big Paul Williams fan. I was.
Oh, cool, man.
Love Boat.
Rainbow
Love
Connection
Boat.
is my favorite song.
Yeah, the Love Boat. Didn't he wrote the theme from the Love Boat too, if I'm not mistaken?
Oh, did he? Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds like something he'd write.
Yeah.
Old-fashioned love song. He wrote Evergreen.
Yeah. Evergreen. Evergreen was his really big hit. That's the
Yeah.
one that all the girls liked.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So Noah, indulge me. Let me read one more song. I just had it sitting here, and it's just so different from all those other things that I read off or read through.
Okay.
Alfie, are you familiar with Alfie? I think Alfie was a movie. I'm sure Alfie was a movie, but
He's also a plumber.
was it with Michael Caine starred in Alfie? I think Michael Caine was the star of Alfie. So here really is short. What's it all about, Alfie? Is it just for the moment we live? What's it all about when you sort it out, Alfie? Are we meant to take more than we give? Are we meant to be kind? And if only fools are kind, Alfie, then I guess it's wise to be cruel. And if life belongs only to the strong, Alfie, what will you lend on a golden rule? As sure as I believe there's a heaven above, Alfie, I know there's something much more. Something even non-believers can believe in. I believe in love, Alfie. Without true love, we just exist, Alfie. Until you find the love you've missed, you're nothing, Alfie. When you walk, let your heart lead the way, and you'll find love any day, Alfie. That's intense writing, man.
I love it. I'd never heard that one before.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Well, thanks for indulging me, folks. I know, I'm not playing the guitar and singing my own song today, but I just wanted to pay homage to a great songwriter and put a focus on lyrics.
No,
Lyrics mean a lot.
No, thanks for being a part of this. Thanks for your participation, Nathan. We really appreciate it. And
All right, cool, man.
Really nice to
Uh,
meet you, Nathan.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll have
Uh,
to stay in touch, man.
yeah,
Real pleasure.
yeah. My brother doesn't think lyrics matter.
Neither does Bob Slauson.
They don't if you turn your
Yeah,
guitar
I argue with
amplifier
him
up.
about that over and over again.
Yeah. All right, Nathan. We'll catch you. We'll catch you next time. Yeah, Nathan Douglas,
All right,
everybody.
thanks, fellas.
Thank you, Nathan. All right.
All right,
yeah.
take care.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
You too. All right. We're gonna give Brandon Thompson a call. All right. So let's see, Brandon Thompson. Where you at? And it. Thompson. Oh wait, it's Tom. He goes by Tom Grimm. There we go. There we go. All right, we're giving Brandon a call. Sorry, that's loud.
Greetings.
What's up, Brandon? Hey.
Hey, how are you, man?
Pretty good. How are you, Brandon? Hey.
I'm doing pretty good. Hello to everyone in studio. I'm Brandon.
Brandon, Rob, Pernell. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Rob and Pernell. Thanks for sharing, fellas. We'll see you.
Pernell's he's just stepping aside to hydrate, and then he's gonna be right back. He's just standing here, but he can I think he can still hear you. So he'll be back in like 10 seconds or something like that. Yeah.
Sure, I got you.
Cool, man. Well, it's been a while.
Yeah, sure has.
Yeah. Like you did an eOpenMic like probably a year and a half ago, or 2 years maybe even. And anyway. This is Brandon Thompson. He's a pretty, like, I've got a limited glimpse into your life, but from what I see, it's pretty fascinating. So I'm pretty excited to get to talk to you and see what you do. So he's a musician. You've done some videography at one point. You were dabbling in it or something. But then there's something else that maybe I'll ask you about after your song. Well, okay, for you guys. One other thing that he's done that I'm going to ask about tonight is just that he has been he traveled like the country, right, doing sport,
That's right.
going to sporting events, but he wouldn't actually like he would get into the sporting events by just going to the stadium and holding a sign like Raiders fan looking for a spare ticket.
Vikings fan.
Vikings
fan.
Very cool. Catch me if you can.
So and then
I did get to a Raiders game as a Vikings fan, so that's pretty exciting.
So and then he just hang out with whoever has the spare ticket and then party with them, and you'd get in like every single time, yeah, like
darn near every time. I'd say
yeah.
I probably have like a 95% success rate. And I've had some concerts as well where I've gotten like my fiance and my uncle and gotten my siblings into games before. My mom went with me to a Tim McGraw show, so. It's amazing how many extra tickets are out there. You just got to go and set your intentions and let the world know what you're trying to do, and usually the universe will provide for you, I guess.
Right on. Well,
yeah,
take it away.
I've got a short little video with some pictures for that I can share after this. I don't know if there's any way that you can make my screen horizontal because the video is in whatever 16 by 19. So if you can make that happen. Are you using OBS, I imagine?
I am, and they've got like a new update or whatever where I don't know, I might be able to pull it off. I don't know. They had an update literally like in the last few days or something like that made Skype temporarily incompatible with OBS, and so I've had to like find a So I've had to find a workaround, and essentially I'm taking and I just don't really know much beyond what I've figured out right now. So I don't know. I'm like lucky that I'm able to get you on. So I might have a way to do it, but I almost don't even want to touch it. So
that's fine. If it's not broke, don't fix it. My video will probably come fairly well enough. I've done a few streaming things as well. I did a Mario Party League where I was streaming it, like the gameplay, and I had people on Discord, and yeah, they updated like every other month, and everything completely changes. It's really frustrating. So I feel your pain.
Okay. Cool.
All right. I've got a song. This is one of my newer ones that I've written, and it's for my great aunt Bert. She's in the final stages of cancer, and she's on hospice and everything right now, so our family's kind of rallying around her. I heard you guys talking about songwriting. For me, songwriting or just creative expression in general is a good way to grieve. Even though she hasn't passed away yet, we're still grieving her right now and in her situation. And so when I'm in tough times like that, I like to go through the 7 stages of grief, and I'll just write a little bit about how I feel on each stage, and it kind of forces me to go through it in a way. So this is a song that kind of popped up in the middle of the night, when I couldn't sleep. So. It doesn't have a name. It doesn't need a name.
Okay.
When I was 4 years old, I punched you in the face. You drug my ass back home, and then you taught me grace. You treated me just like I was one of your own. You opened your heart, and you gave me your home. You touched my life in many great ways. And when I think of you, I'll long for better days. And as I look back on the fun that we shared, I may shed a tear, but I'll truly be glad as time marches on. We'll learn to live on. When I was 4 years old, ice fell from the sky, shattered our windshield and spoiled our drive. But as I reflect on adversity faced, it might be that we were in the right time and place. As time marches on, we'll learn to live on. We'll rally around Ron, and your love will live on. To have you by my side, I've truly been blessed. And as day turns to night, you've earned your peace and your rest. Now has come the time that we must say goodbye. But I promise you, my aunt, you'll live through me till I die. As time marches on, we'll learn to live on. We'll rally around Ron, and your love will live on. As night turns to dawn, your love will live on. Thank you, Noah, and seriously, to have a show to come and perform that on means the world to me, man. I really appreciate you doing this and setting it up. You always introduce me to some new musicians every time I come on, so it's a real joy to be on with you guys and in your presence. To the ticket thing, I can switch over this thing here, see what this pops up. So I started in 2013. I wanted to go to every game the last year at the Metrodome before the Vikings. They tore down the Metrodome and they're building a new stadium. I wanted to go and see everything at the old place before it went away. And then eventually I wanted to see everything at the new place the first year that they were on. So I just didn't have money for a ticket one time, and I had an extra ticket in the past. We didn't know what to do with it, so it just went as an empty seat, and I thought there's got to be someone else in that situation out there. And so I just went out with a sign just declaring my intentions that I'm looking for an extra ticket, and I found some guy who had actually been stood up by his date, and he was ready to party, and he came up to me, and he's like, "Are you old enough to drink?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You're coming with me?" And it started out I wanted to go to all the games, but after a while it became more about the people that I would meet, because all these people, they were nice enough to give me their extra ticket, so that typically meant they're nice enough to have a conversation with me, sit down and share a little bit about their lives. I'd share a little bit about mine, and as iron sharpens iron, people sharpen people. So that's really my favorite part of the whole experiment, is just all the lives that have touched me, and hopefully I've touched their lives in a way too. And across the country, it hardly ever fails to get me in. I've never gone to a concert and not gotten in. Like concerts, I don't know, if you ever want to go see someone and you don't have a ticket for it, bring a guitar. Here's a picture of a sign, like fiance Katie's holding up the sign outside of the stadium. Just go out there and search and tell people you need a little bit of help. People like to help people out. So
I love it.
So yeah, that's my story in a nutshell, I guess.
Can you do anything with the Super Bowl?
Yeah, can you get it? Pernell said, "Can you get into the Super Bowl?"
Yeah.
I did try.
I've never
been.
been.
Super Bowl. The Super Bowl was in Minnesota, and I was there. I was outside. I did run into a couple people that had single extra tickets, but no one was willing to take a shot on that one. But I definitely went. It was freezing cold that day too. It was like 20 below. I don't know. It was the only Super Bowl, the second Super Bowl they've had in Minneapolis. They don't have them up here very often because of the weather. But no, at some point that's the ultimate goal. Obviously, is to go and do it for a Super Bowl.
I love your song. I love your song, man. I love your song. I felt like I was just taking a stroll down memory lane. Your song, your song made me feel 25 years younger.
That's my life in a nutshell. I'm getting married in March. My fiance and I have been together for a couple of years. We're going to Philadelphia or Pennsylvania, excuse me. Little town you can marry yourself in Pennsylvania. You don't need someone ordained, so that's why we chose that place. Get a cabin with the family. That's what's going on in my life.
Shouldn't it be like that everywhere?
Are you able to hear Pernell right now? Pernell, you can.
No, I can pretty much only hear you.
Oh.
Okay.
I can try and turn it up a little bit. I wanted to have it down so we didn't have an echo problem like before.
Gotcha. Pernell was saying that he really, really liked your song. He said it was like a trip down memory lane. So.
Oh, thank you.
It made me feel very nostalgic.
When I write songs, I try to leave them a little bit open to interpretation, a little bit too, because I think that's important. That way everyone can kind of make it their own. So to hear that it brought you on a little bit of nostalgic trip too, that means a lot to me, everybody.
It's a good song. I liked it.
Yeah, man.
It's fun. I've got you on like 3 different screens. There's all these delays everywhere.
I feel like I'm on the Howard Stern show. I'm looking for Howard Stern to come walking in any minute now.
Man, that's sweet, man. It's really cool to hear about your experience with. I'm hearing the delay too. It's tripping me out.
Okay, I'll back it off a little bit.
Just what your song was beautiful. In particular, the message, and also just I like the. It opens up with punching somebody in the face, which is kind of fun. But it's cool. I think it's cool how you take something that you can take grief but you can find other ways to move through it and to lead off with that. I think is really cool. And then you get to these messages of what I think is beautiful is when we have people in our lives that mean a lot to us and that we that inspire us. We try to find ways to let their spirit live on through us. I think that's really beautiful. How a beautiful tribute, and then also just the way that you talked about what you've done with these sports games and all these interactions with people. I just thought you put that really well. That was really cool.
Well, thank you.
You spoke about it.
I'm curious about the process.
Yeah, I did actually punch my aunt in the face. I was like 4 or 5 years old, roughly. And she had taken me out to eat at the VFW where my grandma worked, but I needed a nap or something. So I was like, let's just go home. And then when we were in the car, I was like, no, I want to eat with grandma. And I just wound up and popped her and broke her glasses. And that's like my earliest memory of my aunt. So that's why that one came up. I decided to write about it.
What were you trying to say just a second ago? Yeah.
I was just did about the process.
Pernell.
The process for writing it. Did you settle on the message, the storyline, the content, the lyrics, how exactly what was the process for writing that? How did you go about it? When did the music come in?
Whew, nice save.
It's okay. It's just an old guitar.
Did you catch that, Brandon? Were you able to hear what Pernell is saying, or not too much?
I can't hear anything that he's saying.
Oh no.
Relay.
It's weird. It's like it's showing that it's coming through Skype. I'm pretty sure. At least I can see that there's audio hitting. But is there a way that are you listening to audio from the stream, or are you able to listen to it directly from Skype?
My audio is coming from Skype right now. The streams are all 10, 15 seconds behind or so.
Gotcha. Oh.
So yeah, I'm not sure. Like I said, man, it's juggling all that stuff and trying to keep track of it is that's all taps. So.
I'm not sure it is. We haven't determined that there is any magic recipe for writing a song. So.
Here, I know what to do.
Oh, he can't hear me.
Yeah, well, what?
That's okay.
I can relay. That's weird because Nathan could hear you, no problem. So it's like changed from one video to the next.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It sounded like you guys were having a conversation with him. So
yeah.
was kind of It'd be the same too.
Yeah, I'm not quite understanding why it wouldn't, but anyway, well, let's do this. Pernell, why don't you just say your question one more time? I'll state it to him, and then we can move forward with songs again from Robin.
Well, we were talking earlier about technique, songwriting technique, and I was just curious how you went about writing that song, and what came first, and.
So I was going to ask you about writing technique. Like, how did you go about writing that song? Was there something particular that inspired you first, or was like verse, chorus first, or lyrics first, melody first? Kind of how did that song come to you, and how did you, what was kind of the process of creating that song? Yeah.
Sure. I think with most of my songs, I usually start with verses. But every now and then I'll come up with a good chorus idea and roll from that one. I think that song specifically, I just came up with that like chord progression with a little melody underneath it, and I started just speaking my mind, whatever was on the top of my head. It was like at 3 a.m. one night. I was just off in the dark, kind of, and yeah, I guess I do work both ways, though, where you sometimes start with the verse and lead into the chorus. Other times you figure out a chorus and then you're able to write stuff from it. I usually my trouble is I'll write a verse that I'm really happy about and then not be able to write a chorus that works with it. Or I'll write a chorus that sounds amazing and then I can't come up with the right chord progression for a verse or this or that.
Can I get one follow-up? Like press chord?
Pernell wants one follow-up question.
Yeah.
Did you have a purpose in writing the song, or was it just an expression, just a sort of a release for you? Was it? I mean, did you write it for your own purpose, or did you have some other purpose for writing it? Was there some message that you wanted to convey, or was it just something that was written?
Maybe you sort of say like external versus internal. Was it? Is that
right? Yeah, exactly.
External. Yeah. Did you have like a purpose, an intent of having an effect, in the world, or like an external purpose for the song, or was it more just for self-expression, something or process internal, like a process of what you're going through just for yourself? Yeah.
Sure. I did want to express my feelings to my aunt. One thing that's been kind of a blessing about this experience and kind of agonizing about it is we've had time to say goodbye to her. So I feel like I got to say the things that I wanted to say to her. But I wanted to maybe encapsulate the way that I feel in this moment or capture it somehow to save for the future. So yeah, I think I just knew that night I was just kind of diddling around on the guitar. I had these cards where it's like they have every key possible on it, and I'll just pick a random one and I'll start playing that key. And so I started with that, and I just, I don't know, slowly built off of a small riff that I wrote. But yeah, I don't think I had any like intentions coming into the process, if that makes any sense. It just kind of, I like to open myself up to whatever is coming at me at that moment. And I'm sure you guys know that sometimes those thoughts, especially creative thoughts, are fleeting sometimes, and they just come and go sometimes. But other times they stick and they make their way to paper, and before they know it, they're ingrained in your brain forever, and they'll never leave you. So
yeah. I like those ones.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Cool, man. Well, thank you, Brandon. Thank you for joining us and for sharing the song and for the video as well. That was awesome. Yeah, man. It's good to see you again, and thank you. Yeah, really thank you for being a part of this again. I really appreciate it. So thank you, man.
Always a pleasure. And I've seen you do some stuff with the 360 camera, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I got. Yeah, it's a really cool thing. I got it. I think I probably would never got it if I didn't see you do some of those videos. So yeah, you are part of the reason why I have one of those things. They're really cool. They're amazing. They're really amazing.
I think they're going to catch on soon, and the technology for them is going to advance.
Okay.
Well, I like everything everything does.
Yeah.
But I think in the near future, that's going to be something that everyone's using. So
The main thing I think it needs,
excited to see other people.
I think that it needs. I need to figure out more effective ways to edit. I think the editing is the challenging side. I don't know. That's just me. I'm pretty. It seems there's some cool built-in tools, but it's just challenging to edit a little bit. But the shooting is amazing.
There's a lot you can do, and figuring out a workflow is important. I try and render photos from all of my videos or all the pictures that I take. Like that day, that night, I try and go through everything and render as much as I can. And then if there's like a larger project, obviously I'll work on it, throughout a week or so. But you really just got to be on it because that stuff will pile up. When I was making that video with all the pictures, I get overwhelmed with all the files that I have on my computer. Sometimes it causes anxiety because you can rack up quite a bit of stuff really fast. And yeah, you just have to, I don't know. Like I said, I just make a commitment to at least doing the photos from all the stuff I shoot the day of. That usually gets through it. And yeah, just like anything, I guess just practice makes perfect. And developing a good workflow makes it easy. So.
Yeah.
I hope technology doesn't advance
All right,
very much
I'll
more.
let you carry on. Much love. Like I said, really grateful.
All right, you too, man. See you, Brandon.
Nice to meet you, Brandon.
Subway caters.
All right. Cool. See you, man. All right, so.
Play us a song, man.
Yeah. I heard that.
I like that walk up he was doing on that riff.
Yeah.
That song reminded me of, I think, my high school junior senior. It was it had that. Wasn't it a kind of a '90s punk? Sound?
Yeah, kind of something
that.
along that lines. Yeah.
All right. I'll play you the Beautiful Frankenstein song. Beautiful Frankenstein.
I've been waiting.
And then so you can hear the lyrics on this. Check.
Frankenstein, taking pieces from souls still alive. Shrill the stench of rotting appendages, and not the way they wanted to die. I just wanted to stay alive. Broken Prince Charming, foolishly bled from my heart. Tried I once, sought after the strong that would prosper, and now I wilt and ask myself why I just wanted to stay alive. Cowardly Robin Hood, I beg from the rich, I take from the poor. I stand and study the suffering of others, and take until I can't take anymore. beautiful Frankenstein. But I just want to stay
Yeah. I like that
I'm
one.
speechless.
I like that one.
I'm like our preacher says, I'm standing in my heart. I can't believe that just came out of your mouth. My second thought is I got to get me a Gibson guitar.
I appreciate that because I put some money into this thing, so I'm glad it sounds good. You know.
It does. It sounds great. And that song I'm blown away. I'm totally blown away. I didn't expect anything like that. What do you call that? Gypsy jazz?
Okay.
I wasn't expecting the style, and
Yeah.
I was caught a little off balance. And it was definitely intriguing and interesting, and I thought it was entertaining. I mean, it was almost mesmerizing. I mean, it captured me, man. That song really captured me. You know, so that's a really well written song.
Thank you, man. I think this song kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. How, you know, when you let songs when you let people have input on your songs, or that songs can be done many different ways. So maybe you play with a certain person, and then it changes what the song is. And this song, I wrote it kind of like this. You know, it's like actually when I wrote it, I sat down to write a song that I thought was kind of like a John Mayer vibe. You know, and then all of a sudden this like dark thing came out. But I really like it. But I started working with this drummer, and he was a metal drummer. For most of his life, he's been in metal bands. And we took this song and we made it, and it really works as a metal song. It's almost like it was meant to be a metal song. Like if I could find a metal band that, you know, is going to play like a slow but just heavy, you know, heavy beat, it's insane how big this song can be. But then it also it works as this acoustic, just, you know, lonely, you know, waltz. But yeah, also, I guess the last thing I would want to say about that song, I just think it's really, whenever I play it, I feel like it's a really dark song, and so I always kind of feel bad playing it because, you know, it's pretty pessimistic or pretty in the depths of despair. But for me, the main thing that I want for that song or for the message for people is, it's like you have to, something along the lines of, you need to like respect your own voice, and if you don't take care of your soul, you need to live in a way that rings true with yourself. Because if you don't, like you can't want to stay alive. Like that's not the goal. If your goal is to stay alive, even as innocent of a goal as you might think that is, it leads you to a very dark place. So you got to make peace with it. You're not going to be here. You got to make peace with that, and then just live for principle. Live for principle. And then make peace with whatever your fate is. Don't be worried about what your fate is. If you live with principle, at least you know you're right with God, and then you know whatever else. I think that's the main thing that matters anyway. So, yeah.
You know, I think it caught me off guard because you strike me as one of the most like positive, upbeat kind of, you know, the people that I know.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden this kind of moody, angsty kind of thing comes out, and I'm like, wow, I think you just got multiple personality disorder or something.
Probably. It's always a front, right? With the people that are happy, they're never that happy. They're always
always
the
something
happiest
hiding
ones
inside.
are right. Yeah, the happiest ones were the ones that. Yeah.
No, if
we're-
you need to talk it out, you can call me.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, but also it's like, songs come from different stages of life. And so that was what was really weird about writing that song. Actually, this is something maybe you guys can relate to too, is I think this is really interesting. Sometimes I think sometimes the process of writing a song can help you realize where you're at. Because I thought I was happy. I thought when I wrote that song, at the time that I wrote that song, I was in L.A., I was like kite surfing. I was meeting all these ladies that seemed to be into me, which had never happened to me in my life before. So like I thought things were great. I was like, at the time I was like, this has got to be some of the best point of my life or whatever. And my music career is kind of growing. I'm actually getting to do the things I wanted to do. And then this song comes out. I'm like, whoa. I guess I wasn't aware of. I was deceiving myself. I was like. I wasn't really paying attention to what was going on, and I think I had bought into this fantasy and thought things were wanting to believe that they were better than they were. And then when this song came out, it was just kind of like, whoa, So I don't know if you guys have experiences like that where the writing of a song kind of helps you understand more about what's actually really happening in your life or really happening in yourself. But that one definitely did for me. And then I knew I did not want to stay in a place. In the place where that song could come from, so I made changes in my life like right away after that song. Like I knew I had to change a bunch of things when I wrote that song. So I don't know.
So your purpose was introspection, and I mean you weren't trying to change the world with the song. You were. No. Yeah. I don't know what motivates me to write songs. They come from all different places. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and just kind of have a fleeting thought that ran through my head, and I'll just jot it down. But I used to think that every song had to change the world, and it doesn't. Turns out they don't all have to change.
No, I liked what you said earlier about the advice that you got about keeping it if your songs are too complicated. Because I used to write the same. That used to be my same mental approach. Is I thought in order to be successful, I need to be writing, more complicated, more skilled things than everybody else. But it's just not it at all. And too, because you get lost in that too, and you write. It's like experimental jazz or something, some of this like progressive jazz that like nobody can really understand it, but the people that play it do. But then nobody else can. So then they don't really have much of an audience. It doesn't connect with people. So.
Not only that, but
music
the more complicated at the same time, the more frustrated you get. So I've got a nylon string guitar, and when my mom had passed away, I learned how to play Tears in Heaven. This is back when I was 17, and I'm listening to a lot of stuff between Eric Clapton, and then I hear Dave Matthews, and I cannot remember. It's Tim something that used to or still plays with Dave Matthews.
Tim.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
But you follow those chords, and it's like, man, I want to play like that. And all of a sudden, you're like so focused on trying to. That's it, Tim Reynolds. But you're so focused on attempting to make these chords, and make the crazy ass melody lines that they do. And it's like, well, I'm now losing the touch with my music.
Yes.
Like the stuff I write, it's usually life experience stuff. A lot of it is from the heartache and the pain and the suffering and the depression and everything else. And that's how I get that out. That's my therapy. Yeah. Once I start getting complicated with the chords and trying the multiple layers and stuff like that, I lose touch with that. Yeah. And it's now just putting out crap.
I think like I've had the same experience, and for me, as I've been trying to pursue, make this a career, so this currently is how I make my living is through performing for like weddings and restaurants and bars and stuff like that. And so I felt a pressure, that I need to be able to do that stuff, I need to be able, if I can't do those things on the guitar, I'm not going to get paid. I'm not going to, But I've really come full circle on that because not all of us can be. Was it Tim
Reynolds. Yeah.
Not all of us
I'm
can be
sorry, Tim Reynolds. I should.
Yeah. Not all of us can be Tim Reynolds. Not all of us can be whatever expert player. And not all of us have the. I mean, that's something I just finally realized or accepted about myself. Is like, I just fundamentally don't have the passion to do that. Like,
it's not even necessary.
It's not necessary. Like, because most of the messages, it's not necessary. It's beautiful. It's great, but it is a lot of freaking work to get there. Where you can do that, and then I think there's so many. You can be a great entertainer. You can be somebody that makes a great difference through music, with very simple. It's more about what you're able to express. If you're able to express a message that people resonate with, then does it really matter if you spent 20 years becoming a shredder? I mean, some people that's their thing, but I just think it's not essential for sure.
Look at B.B. King. I mean, B.B. King was a decent guitar player. He wasn't like the best guitar player ever, but he would hang on that one note, and you would feel a wave of emotion from that one note. And it's nothing technical. It's nothing crazy. It's just pumping that feeling through that one note. You get a little bit of waver to it, which gives it even more. And it's just it doesn't have to be.
Yeah. I think music's like a recipe, man. If you put too much of anything in there, it's going to ruin it. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's just like cooking a pot of soup or anything like that. I mean, sometimes less is more. And listen, if all that doesn't work out for you, Noah, I could probably hook you up with a sweet spot on the nursing home circuit.
Okay.
It's where I've landed lately.
I play some nursing homes, and I think they're great spots too. So
it's actually rewarding. I mean, the reward is far greater than the pay. But
and a lot
they're appreciative people.
Exactly. People actually listen, and you can really develop relationships with them. So cool. Well, Rob, let's throw it to you. What soup you got cooking? What's on?
I was thinking about doing My Town.
Okay. All right. I can feel some My Town.
Yeah, make it a fun little jam.
Okay.
And this song, we were talking about like hitting chords and just, every now and again just throwing out a lyric that you just don't know where it came from. That's exactly what this was, because I was just going. And then I would go through that and just say My Town. Now, and I grew up in a little town outside Youngstown, Ohio called Salem, Ohio. And I wrote the song about this very town. One of the lyrics says, "You blink once, you might catch a glimpse. You blink twice, you pass it on by." That's serious. You will pass it right on by. So I'm just glad we have stoplights.
That hits home with me. I grew up in a place like that.
So here's My Town. Looking for my town. Go half a mile down, you'll see a little sign. Blink once, you might catch a glimpse. If you blink twice, you'll pass it on by. Oh, let's break down now. The old man, he's sitting on his porch, smelling a whiskey, doing all right. His daughter's looking hot right now. Goddamn, might get lucky tonight. We got nothing better to do than drive down this old road. But it's just you and me with no other place to go. My town ain't so different from yours, and my town ain't so pure and clean, but it's my town and where I come from that makes my town just good enough for me, yeah. We grew up a half mile apart, know each other in and out. Stop to tell me what you're thinking inside, but I've already figured you out. Everyone's got a plan to leave, but they ain't going nowhere. But I've got first ticket on the last train out. I've already paid my fare. town and where I come from, that makes my town just good enough for me, yeah. It's good enough for me. It's my town. Oh, my town.
Yeah. Man, I wanted to jump up, but I'm wired in here. I got too many wires connected to me. Yeah.
Well, hey, yeah, that song's just so fun to play too. It's just, yeah.
I love it, man.
And it's funny because like when I solo, when I'm doing, Noah's heard me just shred the fretboard. But when I try to slide something, I never hit the slide rate. Which is funny because this song is, it's got that A slide. And I hit it every time. I'm like, well, why the hell can't I do that on my solos? But, yeah.
Awesome. That's Americana, man. That's if that ain't America.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's a small town. John Mellencamp.
That's exactly what I thought of when I wrote it.
That's Americana rock and roll, man.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, it's groovy, man. Yeah.
I love it, man.
Oh, it's even more fun
That's gonna be in my head all night.
when I'm up there at open mics and stuff and Bo's there.
Yeah.
I'll hear him screaming from across the bar. all I hear, my town.
all the way back to Folly Beach tonight. I'm gonna be my town.
Yeah. Good enough for me. Yeah. All right, Pernell, what you got?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Rob's a tough one to follow. So I got another dumb song.
I like your dumb songs. They sound good.
So far, we like them.
This song actually wrote itself. I mean, I was gonna embellish it, and I said, you know what? The truth is just stranger than fiction, and there's really nothing. This song literally wrote itself. I heard this I saw it live on Sunday night, and I couldn't believe it. It was an astonishing thing, and I went to sleep not believing it, thinking that it was it had to be staged, fictionalized. I mean, it was. I didn't believe that it could anything like that could possibly happen. And when I woke up the next morning, it turned out to be true. And so I immediately just wrote down what happened. Very, very short little story. And then I took that kind of outline and turned it into a poem. And I didn't try to embellish any of it. I just tried to write it as much as I could, like a news story, and not be and just be completely unbiased, and not try to shed anybody in a bad light, or paint a picture that's not factual, accurate, or anything. And this is what came out about an hour later. I started at about 10 o'clock. I was definitely all done by noon. So this is called The Ballad of Chris and Willie. And it is not about Chris Christopherson or Willie Nelson. So it goes like this. It's a dumb song. I wrote this. I was talking about purpose.
I've heard this one. This one actually might fit the category of dumb song.
Yeah, I wrote this for one purpose, and that's purely sensationalized entertainment. Just cheap cheap entertainment value is the only thing. If you're looking for anything that's deeper in this, or there's some facet in there that's gonna change your life or something, it's not gonna happen.
Right up.
But it's funny. I don't care who you are. So it goes like this. There we go. Let me get some volume. Here we go. On the other side of the tracks, on the shady side of town, Willie worked a corner spot, shared Tupac's girl around. Chris was scraping and scratching and just trying to get ahead. But Big E's beats and Suge Knight's rhymes were all the game he had. And then the big time struck like a lightning bolt. They got swept away in the fray, not knowing that their crooked paths would cross again one day. And Chris and Willie had a lifelong feud, kind of like they never had nothing much better to do. But Chris and Willie never had a real fight until a bald-headed woman came between them at the Oscars one night. Willie married a time or two and wound up with a chick named Jada. She was a swinger with alopecia. She was low-hanging fruit for a hater. Chris got rich on SNL and then later on the silver screen. His money was green, but he was A-list because his jokes were all so mean. And then one night at the Oscars, Willie had a nomination, and Chris was emceeing center stage trying to be an aggravation. In a single lapse of judgment, he joked about Jada's scalp. Willie stormed the stage and slapped the taste out of Chris's mouth. Yeah, and Chris and Willie had a lifelong feud, kind of like they never had nothing much better to do. But Chris and Willie never had a real fight until a bald-headed woman came between them at the Oscars that night. Tears filled Willie's eyes as he reached his front row seat, while Chris was trying to keep his cool and checking for loose teeth. Jada scanned the crowd and beamed at Willie in adoration, but Willie couldn't let it go without one last indignation. In a voice that thundered like the cannon fire when Sherman raped the South, he said, "Don't let my wife's name come out your freaking mouth." Yeah, and Chris and Willie had a lifelong feud, kind of like they never had nothing much better to do. But Chris and Willie never had a real fight until a bald-headed woman came between them at the Oscars that night. Yeah, a bald-headed woman came between them at the Oscars that night. That's just purely salacious.
No, man, I actually...
I kind of dig that.
Yeah. I like it because so I think when I saw you perform it, I at Chico Feo, but I only caught I only caught like half of it or something. I didn't see. I don't know. I was in a talking to people or whatnot. So, but I heard some of it, but then to me in that performance, it felt different because the way you performed it right now, it's just like a raw. You're just giving the truth, like. You're just putting, it's like you took that and just put it into a song.
Yeah, it's just four chords and the truth.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's it, because at first when I saw you play it at Chico Feo, I thought it was kind of like tongue-in-cheek, but it's really not tongue-in-cheek. It's just straight.
It's Walter Cronkite style, man. It's straight, news. It's just like it happened. I mean, it's just, like I said, the song, it wrote itself.
Which is pretty cool, because, that's a... Well, there's a couple things that are interesting about that particular scenario. One is that just how pervasive it was. Like everyone knows about it, So it's like literally it's up there with some pretty big events. You know what I mean? Like in terms of how broad its reach was. But then also how much difference of opinion and how much on it there was, and then your song doesn't really take sides. It's just like, look, this is what happened. You know, it's kind of like this is what happened.
Hey, you can't make anything like that up. I mean, it's, yeah.
I like it.
You can't make that stuff up, man.
It also I think what your song does that I really like it tells the story with more strength. It calls your attention to how dark it really was. Like some people, I think you kind of laugh it off and you're like, oh, people slip up, but maybe there's a little more really. I mean, you're making a claim a little bit in the song that there's a history. I don't know the history, but yeah.
It was, it was kind of a snapshot, really. The way I wanted to do it was just to write a snapshot, just to kind of capture, this actually just happened. I was kind of in disbelief, and I was like, I've got to capture this some kind of way. So obviously you can't take a picture of something like that. The only way I knew to capture it was to write a song about it, and I wanted it to be accurate. And actually the stuff, about the backstory I wasn't aware of the backstory until just a month or so ago. Apparently there's a lot more to it than was initially known. And I'm not trying to make fun of anybody or cast any, I'm not trying to cast any aspersions on anybody. I mean, I'm actually a big fan of Chris Rock and Will Smith. If they were in town, I would invite them right over to my house.
With or without the gloves?
Yeah. But I don't know. I thought it was significant enough that it should be. It's not really a song that I'm particularly proud of. But it's actually the song that I'm kind of most well known for at this particular moment in time, and I'm not ecstatic about that, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So
you got I still know you best for the name's not coming to my head right now, but I think it's just because I get tired. But you have a song. It's been the song that's kind of
the CG So probably.
The CG So,
That's the one. Yeah.
But also the other one that stuck in my head, and I don't know. It's not my favorite of yours, but it's the rainbows have rooms to grow. There's something about that melody that you know.
The one about the drug addicted.
I didn't even know it was about that. Well, okay. I had this idea off of that song that you just played, because for me, I was reliving. I haven't thought about that incident, maybe since a few days after it happened or whatever, and going back through it. It's like you got to experience the history, and the history, the way that you told it, you could get so much more detail and information and perspective on what was actually happening. It'd be really interesting to actually have a history book that was done that's actually a music, there's like I don't know what you would call it. It's not a book. It's just a CD of history that's told through song. That'd be really interesting. You could maybe even make, I had this idea for a Wikipedia. Like a Wikipedia for like a social media Wikipedia for history. Like if you travel in any town, there's all these maybe buttons or like things you could hold up your phone to that say, okay, you're here at this particular tourist site, and then anybody who, like the local tourist people could just anybody that knows the stories could just upload audio of them speaking about what actually happened, and you could just post your stickers all over, and then people it's an interesting history idea. But what you're talking what you just saying was making me think it'd be cool if even artists an artist could just make their whole music career just about telling history through song.
Interesting, yeah.
I enjoyed that way more than I ever enjoyed reading a history book. So, it would make it a lot easier to digest the history.
That's an awesome idea.
It'd be a lot of work.
That could work. Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Well, we're at 8:55. So we got technically 5 minutes available. But bro, you want to close this out on a song? You look like you're up to up to you. If you want to, feel free, or otherwise.
Sure. What song should I play?
Play one you know.
I like ones I know. Let's do the one that doesn't have a verse, or not a verse, doesn't have a chorus.
Okay.
Right here and now.
And I just want to say thank you to everybody for who's watched on the live stream. Thanks for joining us, and thank you to you guys for coming.
Can I say www.PernellMcDaniel.com?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You can follow Pernell at www.PernellMcDaniel.com. You've got an album out, yeah?
The Seeds You Sow.
The Seeds You Sow,
It's
yeah.
11 original songs. I'm in the process of recording a new album that'll be out in the springtime.
Okay.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And if you want to catch see Pernell live, you're playing shows at various parts around town, and then you can probably see him a lot of Monday nights at Chico Fay.
You can see me at the retirement center near
If you
you.
want to crash doing the retirement tour, or so you can crash one of those. Yeah, why not? It's kind of fun. Go see a concert and in the retirement home. It's different, right? It's different context. I tell people they can crash pool parties if I'm playing like an apartment complex, but I should tell people next time I play like the Benson House, you guys could crash that. I don't know. Anyway, all right, we'll throw it to Rob. Rob's going to close us out. Thank you guys again. Go follow. Go check out Pernell McDaniel's website. Rob is going to be maybe working on recording and a video for a song in the coming.
Yeah, we need to nail down some times and dates. That's my bad.
Right on. Well, Rob's going to close us out. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
C sharp minor. B. A. Back up to B. Turn the lights off. Coming close to me. Tell me what you say. I'm here for you. Are you here for me? Through the clouds of yesterday, do you see? My foundation's crumbling down. My heart's about to hit the ground. My sanity slipping from under me. My heart wants to break itself free right here and now. Right now. Through the looking glass I see happier version of me. It took all I had to look away. Remembering back all the better times of you and me. How could it be you turned away from me? All rushes back to me. All we could be. Betrayed with a smile. Tell me what is on your mind. Baby, we can find the truth behind the lies right here and now. Right here and now. All we have is right here and now. Look into my eyes, baby, tell me what you see. Right here and now. right now. Right now, it's right here and now. Can't believe it's come to an end. How it's supposed to be just friends. Pictures searing into my brain, trying not to go insane. I hear it now. Yeah, right here and now. Lord, right here and now. Right here and now. Yeah, right here and now. Right here and now. All we have is right here and now. Look into my eyes, baby, tell me what you see. Right here and now. Right here and now. Right now. Right now. Right now. It's right here and now. That was right here and now.
I love playing stuff I never heard.
And we were right
Gives me a
here,
good
right now,
excuse to screw up.
on eOpenMic version 5.02. Thank you, Rob Yuhanick, Pernell McDaniel, Nathan Douglas, Brandon Thompson. Thank you guys all for being part of this, making this happen. So look forward to the next one. We're doing this every second month, every Monday, the last Monday of every odd month. Yes, at
Okay.
7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the next one will be January 28th or something like that. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. You guys have a good night. Thanks for tuning in.